Yo, what's good, YouTube? Antayami here, back with another video. And today, if you're a voiceless voice player, I advise you click off because I have 4 voiceless voice replays. Me playing the Snake Eye board breaking Sky Striker deck that Joshua Smith made. And funny enough, my first build of this deck was a Sky Striker build, but it wasn't that great. I didn't understand because I was playing like semi hand trap, semi like the format wasn't evolved enough. And I don't even think like pure Snake Eyes was a popular thing. I think it was just like Fire King Snake Eyes, and we're still trying to optimize the combos and stuff like that. So I kind of jumped on board once pure Snake Eyes became more relevant with the Jet Synchron and stuff. But ever since Josh released his video, I've been falling in love with this variant. And I'm not gonna waste too much of you guys' time, but here we have a game 3 situation. I went against 3 different voice players back to back to back, and I forget if these opponents play like very optimally or whatever, but for the most part, I think they were pretty solid games. And every single one of these games, I OTK. I do have a replay versus like Branded, and I do have a OTK Branded, and I also have a video or a replay where I OTK Vanquish Souls. But I'm gonna stick with the voice stuff because I don't want to get into too many replays. But we do have 4 replays. This being game number 3. And as you guys can see, this is a brick hand, right? Like, I was like, yeesh, how do I play with this hand? So we're going to go ahead and just see what we can do to move this forward here. And then we can talk about the other replays and stuff like that. So, anyway. I set 2 pass. I mean, that's all I can do here, right? So I got to be like, all right, I'm going to voice. So most likely I can survive. My plan is the Cosmic Cyclone, their continuous spell card, and just pretty much just chill from there, right? So I was like, maybe I don't die, and depending on how they play, maybe I can top deck something that I can like get hand trapped on, and then I can activate my tactics talents and thrust and stuff like that. So this is my thinking, right? But pretty much I'm like, man, I'm cooked. So he top decked the field or continuous spell, but you know, we're gonna pretend like we don't know what's in his hand. So, but you guys can definitely see it. So he starts off with the Saphira effect, search or dump the ritual spell and search the Guardian, normal summon, diviner effect, Amethyst to pop one in the back row, and it was a cosmic, so yeah, whatever. Banish, tribute to, special summon. And then he triggers 1, 2. Now, I don't agree with this because this technically, if I ash this, which, I mean, it doesn't really do much anyway. But I feel like Chainlink 3 should have been Diviner just to play around, like, legit everything and let these 2 cards resolve. But at this point, I'm not on hand traps. And he knew I wasn't on hand traps based off of what happened games 1 and 2. So he searches, special summon, and special summon. Activate the effect, put the trap card there, then activates the spell card, and then he goes to special summon another monster by putting back the Saravis, the special summon Saravis from deck, and going into a battle phase here. Now, I really feel like this could have been played a little bit better. I'm not going to go into too much details on how he could have probably played this a little bit better and played around my other set card because it could have been an imperm, but at the same time, and he knows this wasn't an imperm or Call by the Grave or anything like that. And if he's putting this on Super Poly, then I guess that's what it is. But like, there's just no shot I'm playing Super Poly in a Snake Eyes deck, even if it's mostly board breaking cards. And I just feel like he could have just pushed for game here. 26, 41. Maybe he was just scared. I don't know. I just felt like he probably should have he had to wait for game here for sure. But anyway, I take the damage. And he goes for this play. So I guess he just played it really safe here since I didn't really open anything. And any of my top decks just loses to Guardian. And he has Nib. So he probably felt like he was really good in this situation, right? Like, no matter what I have, like, I don't know what he think these cards are, but maybe like double Flameverse Dragon, Oak or something. Like, I don't know, right? But unfortunately, these are really strong cards if they pop off. So all I gotta do is get these cards to trigger, and we're back in the game, right? So, he banishes both my cosmics. You know, whatever, we live. And I top deck an Ash, which is a really good card. Like, we needed a card that like provokes my opponent to like negate or activate or do something, right? So we can get these cards live. So we normal summon Ash, activate the effect. He negates it, which makes sense, right? Because he knew this was my top deck. So he negates it, and then this cuts on the talents. So here, there's a lot of things I could do here, but I'm going to talents, and I forget exactly what I do here, but I know I thought here for a little bit, and I think I end up No, I didn't draw here. I'm pretty sure I took. No, I don't know. I did draw 2 here. Okay, so I did draw 2 here. And we drew into a bonfire, which is really, really, really strong. I don't know what I was thinking on drawing here. Oh, that's what it was. Any access to Black Witch. That's what I was thinking. I was thinking like maybe 3 bonfires and then the 6 Black Witches. And then I go into tactics here, tactics into engage, and then we just win. So that, yeah, I guess that makes more sense. Yeah. And then engage into Hornet Drones. We draw another card. Hey, Black Witch. Cool. Then we do the Sky Striker bait stuff. So we go here. We go into Kagari. And then we go into the engage again. And we get the Hornet. And draws it to Souls. Like, Jesus Christ. Anyway. Then we Shark Cannon. Shark Cannon taking one of his monsters. And then we're going to link off into a Phoenix. Phoenix is going to pop the spell card. I forget if he already activated this card or not. I can't remember. I've been yapping too much. So he decides to go for SP here, which I guess that's fine because he's saving this for follow-up when he drops the nib. I thought that was a little weird, but like, yeah, whatever. And then we bonfire into Poplar effect. Yeah, okay, so he didn't use his effect yet. So interesting. Okay. The special summon, or I guess add. Maybe he misplayed here. Maybe he should have been using this card more as a pop than it was a search, but kind of his fault on this, I guess. Not using it as an interruption, but using it as follow-up, especially since he already has follow-up in low. So think that was a mistake. Maybe he thought it could like special ritual monsters or something. I have no idea. But yeah, his Ravens is already in the grave, and it's just tougher from here. So anyway, we go into Temple, make a Linkuriboh, spell and trap the Kagari, which is really funny that you can do that. And you can actually use the effect to special summon itself to bring back Sky Striker cards, which is really broken. Great follow-up on that. Then we're going to spell and trap the Flameburst Dragon, and then we pitch the Flameburst Dragon from the hand to prop all these effects. We set the original, special summon, and then we're going to the Selene, and the Selene here is going to try to threaten the Apollousa, only because I had a feeling that my opponent might be holding the nib, and we still have like original with the Oak here. And if they do happen to drop nib on me, because I'm way overdue past nib, I'm like summon 14 at this point. So I'm going to try to, set up that beautiful Apollousa, and we get nibbed here. And then this activates my Temple, special summon Flameburst, and then use original, bring out Oak. And then you guys can see from here, this is going to be just straight up OTK here. So yeah, we're just gonna fast forward this and just watch, because this is pretty standard for the most part. And then we swing for game here. Beautiful. Right through him. Very, very, very nice. Let's hop into the next replay. All right. So we're going second here in this position, and I'm pretty sure this is game number 1. It is, because I usually slide out enemy controller versus this matchup. So this is game number 1 versus our second player, on the Voices Voice deck. So I'm gonna go ahead and fast forward, let them do their thing, let them cook. Again, I'm not gonna try to commentate on the Voices Voice side because we're just here demonstrating that this deck can actually go second pretty well. And I already can tell you right now in the mirror match, this deck cooks. Um, but it's crazy. It's a really really good deck. I like it a lot. It's very fun too. It's more intuitive. There's more interaction with the spells in the deck and just breaking every single board. Um the big issue I'm having with this deck, as far as like other matchups besides Voices, Voice, and Fire, is that Branded becomes very scary because if you don't open like droplets, um, or some way to stop the Gimmick Puppet, then you just kind of auto lose to a Gimmick Puppet. So I have cards in my side deck that can fight versus that particular scenarios. Actually, I have a couple of cards in my side deck that can help stop versus a lot of rogue matchups, and also stops me from getting Gimmick Puppet. Because if I pop off and my opponent plays into my board really incorrectly, yeah, it's just tough from there. But yeah, as you guys can tell, the Sky Striker cards really came in handy there because I just took his Nib, again, playing through Nib and Veiler, because Droplets is broken. This is basically game right here, so good enough to bypass everything. We baited everything as best as we could, and yeah, Droplets into this matchup is very strong. So that helped me push through the board and also play through a Nib and OTK regardless, right? So onwards to game number 3. Okay, so my opponent is going first, and there's these really cool cards called Phantasme in his deck. Not sure why Phantasme is in his deck going first, but it is what it is, right? So, hey, pop off king. So he opens, and he opens playable, of course. So this deck is very consistent. So this deck would never ever really necessarily break. It can break, but typically it doesn't. So, we're gonna go with the Snake Eye spell card, the fill spell first, because just in case he decides to summon another monster, like again Nib or anything like that, I want this card to be face up. And also I kind of want to see if it baits negate here, because if it does, then it cuts on my talents and my thrust that I don't have. But it's a great way to out this. Then my next step is to out the back row here. And of course, I got to do that while baiting this card. This card is like the bane of my existence. It's the reason why it's so hard to break the board, because it baits the Black Witch very well. And it also baits like the first SP or Nightmare Phoenix that comes out. So baiting this card is very weird without like droplets or any big board breaking cards. But we have basically all engine here. So we just got to be really smart with it. So let's go ahead and fast forward here. And I'm just trying my best to just kind of like bait as many things as possible. And here, I did a little trick here. Since I had double Black Witch, I know that if he Saravas one of my Black Witches, then my other Black Witch can also become an extender and play through everything, right? So then now I had to go through this negate here, which is very strong. And if he negates this, then I can summon Oak, Brains back, Snake Eye Ash, and then go into the full Snake Eye, Snake Eye Lion combo anyway. So, yep, gets negated, and then now we can pop off here. And the Phantasme jump scare was very scary because I was thinking, like, what if he draws into a Nib or something like that, another hand trap? Because if he does, he pretty much wins here. But I don't even know what he draws because I never looked at these replays. I just kind of saved them because I was like, yo, we OTK through this. We OTK through this. So, yeah, I didn't see what the other card he drew, but it doesn't really matter. It wasn't a hand trap. So he pops the fill spell, and then I search. And we're popping off here. And as you guys can tell, you can already see the OTK here. We pretty much win, and that's it. Just a little simple cleanup here. And since this card was co-linked by 3, it could pop 3, which was my plan, and then just push for a game there. Another clean OTK, and we're going to be hopping into the last one. And again, the reason why I'm making this video is because I know a lot of people like to like go first, and going first is easy, right? If your opponent has a hand traps or any way to stop you, they have it. But I wanted to show off that also going second with this deck is actually really strong too, and it's actually stronger going second than it is going first. It's easy to stop going first with like 1 or 2 hand traps, but going second has so much gas, right? Like you literally just crank through like almost every single board like it's nothing. So why I'm showing this off while going second, and let's go ahead and pop off here. So my Voices Voice player, and this is, I want to say, a different Voices Voice player because he quits. Like, he didn't give me a game 2. He just quit. So I was like, all right, cool. But 3 games in a row, Voices Voice players. So again, we got the typical end board. We got the Saravas. We got these two, and then the Spell and Trap here. So we're going against like the full end board every single time, right? So we're going to go ahead and try to do our best here to crank through. My hand is straight gas. Like straight gas. So again, the engages are insane. He asked that. I'm baiting that out, and then I go for another engage here, and we are just going crazy here. So that baits that, and then we still have this. If he had like another hand trap or Veiler, I was like extremely cooked here, but we pushed through all the interruptions as best as we possibly could, bait as many things out as we could. And then again, as you guys can see, since there's an Ash Blossom in the graveyard, we can extend into it. And yeah, if my opponent had an inhibitor or something, he better have it. But it seemed like he didn't have it. And again, we played through a ton of interruptions here. And, same difference, different song, and it's just game. So yeah. Like I said, this deck is very, very strong, and if you guys want to see more of these type of gameplay, I can probably show off more Snake Eye, pure Snake Eye, or going second. I don't know. It's not going second, but Sky Striker, Snake Eyes, whatever you want to call this deck. Yeah, but it's strong. It's strong. It can push through a lot of stuff. It's very technical when it comes to the plays and stuff like that, but I didn't want to like spend too much of my time explaining every single scenario, so you can go back and pretty much watch the video at a slower pace. But yeah, I just want to show off this deck list, these matches. And if you guys want to see the deck list, because I will be taking this to the Greenville Regionals on this coming up Saturday. So yeah, I'm prepared to do really well with this deck. I'm very comfortable in the mirror match. I'm very comfortable in branded, and I'm also very comfortable versus this deck as well. I probably need to get more Yubel and Ray Raptor practice, and then I know, jokingly enough, I feel like Runic Stun is like starting to pop up a lot more too. So we got back row removal for that matchup as well. So I'm very well versed. I'm very comfortable with it, and we're just gonna get better and better with this deck. All right, guys, if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you guys leave a like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.